So guys, you need to own one of this beautiful BUBU kimono if you don't already have one. So follow me as I take you on a journey to creating one for yourself. So I have my fabric already folded this way. You can see this side I was abnormally cut out. I wasn't aware until I placed it on the work table before I got to find out, but I'm going to be working on it. It's not going to be visible on what I'm trying to cut out. And also this is the other part of the fabric as well. So the first thing to do is I'm going to take the neck width. I am using 4 for this purpose because of the abnormal cutout at the other part of the fabric. Ideally I'm supposed to be using 2.5 or 3 inches. So the neck depth I'm going to be using 1 inch as well. Next I'm going to measure 2 downwards, which is going to serve as the shoulder slant. So I'm just going to link it to the neck this way. So from the slanted points, I'm just going to come down by 6 inches. I'm going to be using 6 inches for the sleeve, for my sleeve circumference. So there's a 6 inches, and I'm going to add extra 1 inch allowance this way. So this measurement is for my sleeve circumference. This is where my hand is going to be passing through. So I want you to notice that for the back and the front neck, I cut them together. So I'm going to open up this other part. I'm going to open it down, all the way down. So the next thing to do is I'm going to be separating the back from the front. So the first layer you see right now is the back layer. So I'm just going to take out the back layer this way. Once the back layer is out, you can see the abnormal cutout again. So from the neck depth that we had, remember that we took 1 inch downwards. So I'm going to further go down by 9 inches plus the 1 inch extra is going to be 10 inches. So from there I'm still going to take out 2 inch measurements. Just watch what I'm doing carefully. So I'm just going to connect it up onto the shoulder. So I'm just going to connect this 2 inches line. I'm going to connect it downwards. I'm just going to cut on that line downwards. Don't worry about how it's looking. It's the nature of the fabric. This is a chiffon, so you're not really going to get the shape of what you are cutting because it's not a strong fabric. So I'm just going to lay the back pattern of this kimono onto the front like this. And then remember that we marked 7 inches on the sleeve, so I'm just going to notch it by 1/2 an inch. So I'm just going to separate the back from the front. I'll first of all spread my back like this. I'm going to spread this back like this. I'm going to be working on aligning the back and the front together before taking it for stitching. So I'll just lay the front part, one side of the front part, 1/2 of the front part. I'll just lay it on the shoulder of the back this way. And then I'll go ahead to lay the second half of the front on the back like this. I'll just go ahead and just spin it all the way. So this is chiffon. You want to use something heavy to just keep it in place. So I'm going to sew on the shoulders like this. Then I'll leave this part open. This part of it, I'm going to leave this part of it open. And then remember this notch that we had. So from this point on the notch, from this point that we notched, so from this point that we notched, I'm going to stitch all the way from that point. Look at it very closely. From this point I'm going to stitch all the way down. Then I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to stitch on this side as well. So as you can see, my hand, this part of it is going to be open. So from this notched part I'm going to stitch all the way down. So this part is where my hand is going to be passing through. So I'm done with the shoulder. I've joined the both shoulders together. This is the shoulders. This is the sleeve as well. And then see the neck. As you can see from the previous neck that I showed before this one, this neck is a little bit smaller because I have to do a little case gathers on the back neck, so it has reduced the neck width a little, then this is how it is. So the neck is reduced. This is what I want now. But if you want a wide neck, please go ahead and use a wide neck. But for me, for a chiffon, if it is very wide, it's going to be falling off. I'm going to be using this bias to finish the edges. I'm first of all going to be starting with the sleeve. And if you feel like using a bias is going to be so much of a stress for you and you don't want to do all of the stress, you can just go ahead and just fold them. So wherever you're meant to use a bias, just go ahead and just fold the fabric like that so that it doesn't loosen out. Then I'm going to also use it for the opened part of the front pattern of our kimono. So the open part, the front part, you remember that it is open. So I'm going to be using the bias to stitch all the way around the neck, and then underneath the end part of the kimono, I'm also going to trim these edges. I'm going to trim the edges this way, and then I'm also going to still use the bias to finish it up. So once I was done with the bias, this is what it is. The edges are already neatly dressed with the bias. Just look at how it is, neatly dressed and finished all the way from the down part of it, from the base of it, running through the neck, through the back. This is the sleeve. So as you can see, this kimono is basically one of the easiest dress you can make. There's no lining, there's no zip, there's no other technique. Very easy to make. Before you know it, you are done. So this is the finished kimono. You can see the neck. So with this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. You can see that it is very easy to make. So if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe to my channel and turn the bell icon so you're the first to be notified when I make a new video. And at the top right side of your screen, I'm going to be leaving a link to another video of mine. Can't wait to see you in my next video. Take care and bye.